we're recording to the cloud, so they'll be posted on the SIHR website in a few days. We'll probably make some edit it into individual presentations so you don't have to watch the whole thing. So I guess we will forgo our national anthem this afternoon. Mute yourself, and we'll get to our first speaker. So I'm seeing everybody unmute themselves now. So that's that mute button on the left-hand side. I see everybody's getting the idea here to mute themselves. So our first speaker this afternoon is Marc Durand. Marc is a journalist, a broadcaster, an author from Quebec City, and is actually a past recipient of the SIHR's Brian McFarlane Award for his outstanding research and writing. Marc is going to take us back in time to the World Hockey Association and the plans to celebrate the 50th anniversary. I'll turn it over to you, Marc.
Thank you very much, Bill. Hello, everyone. Really pleased to talk to a lot of fans from everywhere in Canada, the States, and Europe. Really an honor to be the first guest. I hope I will keep you for the next 15 minutes. And if you have questions, of course, I will try to answer them. It's really a pleasure. So thank you. And also thank you, Fred Addis, for this introduction. Just want to make sure that everybody sees my screen. I will try to do it right away. So do you see it? Quebec City WHA 50th anniversary celebration. Yes, all right. Hey,
Yes,
it's working. It's working. So perfect. Okay, so we have a group that we call the WHA Hall of Fame and Reunion Discussion Group that had a reunion. I guess it was in August, last August or July, and we had the same interest to keep the WHA memory alive. And we have people from the SIHR organization. They have also some members of this small 10-man group who are online today with us. Jack Stanfield is supposed to be there. He's a former Houston Aeros player, and he kind of like keeping things alive around the WHA. Larry Kaiser, who also planned to have a celebration in Las Vegas. Maybe we'll have the chance to talk about it later. And Benoit Cleroux, who is a member, you know, about the SIHR, that is on the group also. And of course, Mr. Howard Baldwin, the owner of the New England Whalers and president for some time of the WHA, the movie producer that we all know. So I think he's going to be online also. He was planning to do, and he's on the group. And the plan is to celebrate the 50th anniversary. A lot of players are still alive, and it's a round number, and it's we hope that COVID will be away so we can celebrate things. And we have a plan in Quebec City to do something about it. So let's go through my presentation. So just a small recall. You know about the WHA, of course, 7 magnificent season in the 70s. 21 of their members are in the Hockey Hall of Fame. Some ended their career in the WHA. Some started their career, like Wayne Gretzky, Mark Messier, and some other players. So 800 plus players had played at least one game. 26 teams played at least one game. Well, I could have said 8 games because it's the Ottawa Civics numbers, but at least 8 games in the WHA in 7 years. We had a pretty good record. This was a major league league. Yeah, major league league. That's it, of course. And it was really a threat for the NHL. And we only have preseason game to compare, but we did had the WHA had a positive record over the 5 years that they had the preseason games, 4 or 5 years. So, of course, it was not the Canadian or the big teams of the NHL who played them, but, well, we can say that the WHA team were NHL caliber. at least a good number of them. International players were, you know about it. We had a lot of them in the WHA also, and Sweden and Finnish, and also Vaclav Nedomanski, who did start his North American career here. And of course, WHA are renowned for helping raise salaries for the hockey players, abolish the reserve clause because they didn't have overtime in the regular season, 18-year-old players, and so on and so on. So it was an important league for not only players, but also coaches. I think of Jacques Demers, and also referees like some others that were there, like Ron Fournier, that we know very well in the province of Quebec. Quebec was important for the WHA. It was there until the start, until the finish. The first game in Quebec was game 2 for the Nordics. It was October 13, 1972. Quebec won 6-0 against the Oilers. I wrote this down because it's important for what will follow. The second WHA meeting ever was in Quebec City in the spring of 1972 at Le Château Frontenac. That also is important here. The first All-Star game was played in Quebec City in January. The players were received at Le Château Frontenac. The first game of the 1974 WHA USSR Summit Series, the one that we forgot, it was played in Quebec City. It was a nice, really nice game. It's available on YouTube and some other DVDs, and it was a 3-3 tie against the Russian. It was really a nice game. AVCO Cup winner of the 1977 season. The most intense WHA final ever. It was Game 7 in Quebec City. It was really awesome. And you know that year, the Abs won the Stanley Cup. And the players in the locker room, immediately after the game, were talking about to the media. They were talking, hey, let's have the Canadian now. We won the Stanley Cup. It didn't happen. But it would have been nice to have at least some games against Montreal and Quebec. The WHA All-Star game in '78 was also Quebec against the WHA. And Quebec was back in the NHL in 1979, 60 years after the Bulldogs. So it was a nice era for Quebec City. In May 2017, we had our first glimpse of what could happen if we reunite players. We did reunite 13 players from the Nordic AVCO Cup Championship at Le Château Frontenac. It was media and people's success. I want to thank again the people that were involved in it. Benoit Cléroux did an awesome job with the AVCO Cup from the Hockey Hall of Fame. Jean-Patrice Martel also was there, and Pierre-Yves Dumont was a member of the WHA group and Hall of Fame. He's working at Le Château Frontenac, and the players were really more than happy to be there. Some players like Paul Baxter at the right. I don't know if you see the mouse, but Paul Baxter, I think he flew in from Phoenix on his own expense. Bob Fitchner did flew in from Winnipeg. We have players from Ontario also, a lot of people from Quebec, of course, but all players except one, except to pay their fee, their travel expense to be there, and the Chateau provide them of the room and some breakfast and everything, but it was on their own, and they did like to do that. So I think it could be a good thing. Like the players would go on and celebrate the event because there's not that many occasions for them to celebrate and have a reunion of old WHA players. The plan is, and it's a plan, it's not a done deal, but I'm really happy to talk about it right now. Since the first game was played in October 72, the first game in Quebec 2 days later, and the NHL kickoff its 2019 season October 2nd. We think that an exhibition game of the NHL could be played October 1st, 2022. It would be a Saturday, and we would love, if all our dreams come true, to have the Edmonton Oilers against the Colorado Avalanche. Edmonton is the only city still around from the original group. I know Winnipeg is back. And Colorado is the Nordics after all. So it would be nice to have an AHL game between the two teams with their old jersey. The jersey you see Jean-Claude Tremblay and Serge Aubry in it are the original from the game 1 in Quebec City. So why not have those jerseys back for this game? and also a trophy at the game, the AFCO Cup. Given to the winning team after the game. It's symbolic, I know, but we see that often in football and basketball, like a state reunion or a mayor trophy against two teams of the same city. So why not have the AFCO Cup after the game? So it's the plan that we have. The activities could be really fun to have a whole weekend there. Thursday and Friday, meeting and media with former WHA stars, Nordic players. They are really more than happy to participate. We talked with Tardy, Cloutier, Brodeur, Bernier. WHA also including Bobby Hall, who knows about it. I know he also wants to be in Las Vegas. There's another thing going around, and why not both? And Bobby had the great memories from Quebec City. Marc and Marty Howe, Michel Goulet, André Lacroix, Paul Anderson, Wayne Gretzky, you know, Frank Mahovlich, Mark Messier, Edberg Nilsson, and why not the Hanson brothers? Maybe they would like shadow the other ones, but well, they played in the Carlson brothers played in the WHA. So all weekend activities at Le Stand Vidéotron. It's empty now, so well, there's a rampart, but it could be nice to have an NHL game again. And we want to have some agreements with the Hockey Hall of Fame to have like a whole lot of things from the WHA artifacts, and also an agreement with the major collectors. I'm really a good friend of Marc Juteau of Classic Auction, and he's more than happy to collaborate on something. So if it happens. Friday, we would have a nice day of events, and also we have a nice thing in Quebec City. You might know that the city decided a few years ago to have like honor 5 era of hockey in Quebec City with more than normal size art statue, and it was planned that the WHA would be recognized, and the player that was voted by the fans is Réal Cloutier. So they will have a statue of Réal Cloutier. We hope that it could be launched the same week of the event. We already have the Stachny. Joe Malone will be unveiled in a few weeks, and Jean Béliveau is already there. The other one will be Guy Lafleur of the Rempart. There's a plan of a documentary by Howard Baldwin, and I'm planning to do the French version, well, some adaptation for Quebec fans. So we would have nice to have that also. And we have already an agreement with Le Château Frontenac to host the players and the Friday night gala with the menu of the All-Star game of the WHA in '73 with guest speakers Marc Tardy and Howard Baldwin. So that's the plan also. Of course, Saturday, public appearance and signature day with the stars of WHA, and the game Saturday night with a packed crowd, 19,000 people. We hope media from everywhere in Canada and the States will be around for this game. And of course, players of the WHA presented on the ice or some activities like that. Also, to finish, media opportunities. I think it's a good moment because it will be just after the 1972 NHL Russia series. So because the last game was September 28th, so I guess we will have some events also somewhere. It's a nice thing to celebrate also. We want to have some grant to the WHA Alumni Pension Fund. They have one. There's a lot of merchandising agreement. We have also some other plans like the National Film Board of Canada did a documentary about the first game of Maurice Richard as a coach, and other thing that you see on this sheet. So I think it's a really good thing to celebrate the WHA, and that's what Howard Baldwin, Mr. Baldwin told me. He thinks the NHL is more than okay to celebrate that. That's his thinking, and I think he has still really good connection with the NHL owners and staff. So the NHL, it's a past thing. It was good for hockey, the merge in '79. So why not celebrate that with a hockey game? So that's the plan for Quebec City. I don't think the hockey game is mandatory. It's a really nice option. If it don't happen, I think we will also have the event. But I think with the hockey game, it could be a big splash around North America for this event. So that's it.
I haven't received too many questions on the chat yet. There's a few. Michael Cameron picked out that he was at a game with Calgary Cowboys to Toronto in Toronto Toros in 1976, and he recalls a game between the Toros and the Habs too in '77. So.
Well, it's more than a question mark. I don't think it never happened, but I remember Serge Bernier. Well, he told me that after the games, we just want to have the Canadian. They had the Stanley Cup, we have the AFCO Cup. Let's challenge it, like in the old days of the Western and the Eastern hockey major leagues.
Mark, yes. This is Jack Stanfield.
Hey.
Hi, how are you? Gentlemen, it's a pleasure to join in and just watch the presentation of WHA. I grew up in Toronto. You know, you guys probably know my brother Fred Stanfield more than myself, but I played in the Blackhawks organization in the '60s and early '70s, and in that time there were only 6 NHL teams, and we struggled, I think, as players. I mean, the American Hockey League was a great league to play in. Central Hockey League was good. The Eastern Hockey League, the International Hockey League, the Western Hockey League. So there was lots of opportunity, but the majors were really a tough place to get into. When I went to Chicago, Tommy Ivan was the general manager. He says, at training camp first year, I played in St. Catharines and played against all the junior teams in Ontario. And he says, Jack, I want you to be a Blackhawk. We'll give you $3,500 for the season and $500 to sign. So I went to the Eastern Hockey League and instead made more money there, came back. He says, the second year, he says, Jack, we want you to be a Blackhawk. He says, I'll give you $4,000 and $1,000 to sign. So I said, okay. And then I went to, Esposito was my first centerman in St. Louis. And Boom Boom Karan was my right winger. Names that you guys probably have known over the years. And then I ended up playing with Gordy in Houston. That's why I have been talking to Mark, because I helped the gentleman. I ended up, after I retired in hockey, to be one of the founders of what you guys know as Fox Sports. The regional business in Canada or in the US. And then I was involved in starting Sportsnet in Canada. I was on the board with Rogers and all the effort there. So I've been involved, and I helped the guy get started with the WHA Hall of Fame. And this gentleman in Phoenix who started the WHA Hall of Fame passed away, and the whole conversation around how to bring that back is part of the reason that Mark and I got talking, and part of the reason we got this whole group together. So what I really want to say thank you to your organization. In fact, I just signed up to join, is that you've been helping us collect a good list and all the details that we need to have Mark's event be successful and the event in Vegas be successful, and we really appreciate that. So I just wanted to chip in and say thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stanfield.
That's great. That's what Mark, is it October of 2022 is what 22. You have in mind?
Yeah, exactly. So like 50 years, right on target.
I've had someone here that was 11 years old that Billy Williams had, his dad had tickets. So he was almost too young to remember, but he had Toro tickets in their 73, 74. So You're probably following along. If you yourself follow the chat, you can see some of the questions that come up. So in Las Vegas, that Las Vegas group, they are still finalizing the dates or working closely with your group, Mark, to coordinate their reunion too, are they not?
Yeah, I guess so. We didn't heard a lot of them, but they are working on it also. But we don't want to have the two events simultaneously because, well, we want to have Bobby Hall and they want to have Bobby Hall. So we understand that we want to have the stars also. But yes, it's nice to see that it will be around in Quebec. Well, we hope to see it in Quebec City and also in Las Vegas. Yeah.
See, another comment has come up from Eric Zweig. He was even at a Toros game when they had Evil Knievel night.
That's right. That's nice. Oh, yeah. And we have a lot of stories with Gilles Graton also. It's going to be an awesome weekend. The stories of the WHA are so popular, so nice to read. And it's all connected with Slapshot and everything. So it's really a nice thing. So there's a lot of nice stories. And, you know, with Jim Nielsen, who just died last week, he did play in the WHA. It's like maybe one of the last opportunity to have a lot of them all together. So the media opportunity will be awesome. So it's nice to have that in 2022.
Okay, thanks very much, Mark. Now, a couple things is that if people have questions to Mark the rest of the afternoon, you can send them privately to Mark, and he'll be watching the chat board, so you respond. The other button I should have identified in the start is there's a button called a reactions button on the bottom of your Zoom call. If you click on it, you can see the thumbs up. So when Mark asked the question, has anybody heard of the WCHA? You could press that button. So the other button on there for reaction is to clap for Mark. So if you want to all clap for Mark, this is your chance. So
come on, Waxy. I'm watching you.
Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup, Mark. Now, our next speaker is kind of is going to take a look at one of the team